place, Samiksha? Where are you at this time?
So I'm presently in Indore,
In
Madhya
Indore.
Pradesh.
Great. So just to break the ice, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, so I'm Samiksha Dwivedi. I was born in Rewa and I was brought up in Indore, Madhya Pradesh. I have done my BTech engineering from SRM University in computer science engineering. After that, I was placed in Verizon Data Services in Hyderabad. I left that job in order to pursue MBA from IIT Kanpur, and post that I started my UPSC preparation. Meanwhile, I got two jobs. Once in Bank of India through IBPS PO. I left it in 2 months to focus on my UPSC preparation, and I reached till interview for 2023. And last year I could not clear mains. This is my fifth attempt. This year again I'm going for interview, and presently I'm employed in Canara Bank PO.
So again, you are a bank PO now. Again,
Yes, sir.
earlier you were with Bank of India.
Yes, I cleared the exam, but I left it in 2 months because that was still early phases of my preparation. So I wanted to entirely focus on UPSC at that time.
Okay.
Now I can manage.
Okay, Samiksha. So you would be understanding the format of this interaction. This is not a mock interview, and you need not answer any of the questions that I'm going to raise. This is just basically a DAF analysis. I would,
Yes, sir.
in a very informal way, discuss your DAF with you,
Yes, sir.
line by line, if possible, and see what are the likely questions that can be raised on
Yes,
basis
sir.
of this DAF.
Yes, sir.
But also, please, as a caveat, remember that DAF normally constitutes only 20 to 30% of your final interview. The
Yes, sir.
questions that are going to be finally asked are going to be about 20 to 30% based on the DAF that you have provided them. But also remember one thing, that DAF is your information that you have provided to them. And you ought to be very, very strong on this.
Yes, sir.
Every word you should be able to elaborate. Every thought you should be able to defend. Everything that you have said in this thing is something that you should be able to own up. Right? And you must know all the aspects of whatever you have written here. So I'll start first with your name, Samiksha. What does Samiksha mean?
Should I answer?
No, suppose if this was to be a question, I'm actually not asking any question, but at
Yes.
any time, just to place the candidate at ease and comfort, this question is asked because a person feels very happy talking about himself.
So,
So this might just be a question to see your personality as to how do you respond when you're asked to talk about yourself.
yes, sir.
That suppose I was to ask you, what does Samiksha mean?
So, Samiksha means analysis or review. And I will bring the concept of economic survey here, because economic survey in Hindi, it's called Arthik Samiksha.
Don't bring that, because that would be perhaps making it too profound.
Okay.
When you say that it is basically a review,
Okay, sir.
that's a good enough answer. If you don't try to make it too profound, because that would appear as if you are being artificial in what you are saying.
Okay, sir.
The first answer should be Samiksha means review.
Okay.
How is review important in life? How often do you review what you have done in the day, or perhaps done up till now in your life? This is
So,
a question that can arise out of this word Samiksha.
yes, sir.
There might not be too many questions on the word Samiksha because it's a sweet, beautiful name.
Yes, sir.
So the person can just say a very beautiful name, that's it. But suppose if one was to ask you that if it means review, do you actually partake of this quality in your personality? Are you actually able to review what you have done, and what is the implication of what you have done up to now? Try to understand, try to formulate an answer to this question. That do you actually do it on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, what you have done? How do you review it? What is right, what is wrong, what would you do better? It will make you a better
So,
human.
I have added a hobby as reflective diary writing. So, can I bring this in that?
Very much. Very much. You can say this thing that actually I'm the habit of writing a diary in which I review whatever I do in the day. This is something that I've internalized. Get it?
Yes, sir.
But this is a question which may or may not be asked. Some interview boards start with this with the name of the person, and secondly, whether you have the qualities of your name, and how can you say that you have that quality in you. Now, good answer is a very good answer that you say that you write a diary, and on a daily basis in the evening I review whatever I've done through the day. I introspect. Then you belong to Indore. Now, Indore has been in news for good reasons and bad reasons both. Good reasons because you have been regularly for the last 6 or 7 years getting the Cleanest City Award. Right? So you can very well be asked as to what is that the municipality of Indore has done, which you think can be replicated by the other states and the other cities. Why is it that the other states of Madhya Pradesh are also not being able to replicate it? Just write down whenever you're making your notes about Indore, that what has Indore done, which is special, which makes it a clean city. What is the AQI of Indore?
Sir, it is less, but I cannot recall the exact number as of now.
That number. When you go for the interview, keep that because cleanliness must get reflected somewhere.
Yes, sir. So it won the in September. It won the cleanest air in NCAP also.
I think that is a good answer that you're giving, but it'll be good that you should show an awareness that see, cleanliness means what? हमने street साफ कर दी, नाला साफ कर दिया, that is one aspect. But in real terms, what does it mean? Does it actually lead to a better life for the people? Are the standards of health better in Indore than in other places? Look at the health parameters of Indore also. Cleanliness must result in better health. Is your air also clean? Is your water also clean? Is your tap water potable? Then Indore is very well known for its street food. How clean is the street food of Indore? What are the steps taken by the Nagar Palika in order to ensure that the quality of food being sold on the streets of Indore remain clean? ठीक है, इन सब एस्पेक्ट को भी देख लीजिए. ये तो एक सिंपल स्टेटमेंट हो गया कि बड़ा साफ है शहर. आप शाम झाड़ू लगा दीजिए तो साफ हो जाएगा. लेकिन उसका इम्प्रूवमेंट का पैरामीटर तो यही होना चाहिए कि द हेल्थ पैरामीटर्स मस्ट आल्सो इम्प्रूव. Has the longevity of the people improved in the last 5 or 7 years? What was it 10 years ago? What is it now? पानी की क्वालिटी में is there any improvement? Air की क्वालिटी में is there any improvement? Has the lifespan of the people improved? What type of illnesses affect the people of Indore?
Yes, sir.
So that is the good thing about Indore. Now there are bad things also about Indore, and you know about it. This famous case of Raghuvanshi, that murder that took place.
Revenge killing. Revenge killing, but
passion killing, rather. It is not a revenge killing, but a passion killing, because that husband was killed not because of any revenge.
Yes, sir.
Because the lady wanted to marry someone else. That is at least what is being said as of today. Yes, finally, what is proved in the court, one does not know. That is the story that is in circulation. Read something about that case.
I can talk about patriarchy here in this case because the girl did not have choice to marry the person she wanted to. That's why this happened. Something like that.
But see, Samiksha, there might be many things, but you have got always options. शादी करने के बाद हस्बैंड को मार देना तो नहीं ऑप्शन होता ना.
Yes, so that's what. That's
personal. ये तो उसकी पर्सनैलिटी इशू है.
Yes, sir. But that's where patriarchy is coming, because in her society, it is looked down upon that she will take divorce and she did not have a choice. I will work on this.
Who knows? She should have spoken to that boy himself and have told her that I don't want to marry you. I am already, I like somebody else. Maybe the boy himself would have been magnanimous or generous enough to say, all right, fine enough. You carry on.
Yes, sir.
Actually, many of the men would do that. Who would like to marry a woman who's already in love with someone else?
Definitely so.
You could have handled it, that girl could have handled it far more decently also. Yes, it's a choice that she made.
Yes, sir.
And imagine the type of planning it was done.
Yes,
Take
sir.
Meghalaya, then engaging people to kill the husband. This is a criminal mind. If it is so,
Yes, sir.
she might actually might be proved to be innocent finally. Who knows?
And so I believe in this case we can also appreciate the police because
Yes,
after they did the entire investigation, then they revealed so that the perpetrators cannot escape.
yes, it was very well done. It was very well done by the police, I think so, and it was worked out in such a short time.
Yes, sir.
It was an excellent work that police has done.
Yes, sir. Especially in Northeast.
Yes, yes, wonderful job. They did a wonderful job. I think the entire reputation of the Northeast was in question,
Yes, sir.
and the police of that place lived up to its reputation. They've done
Yes.
a wonderful job. So when you talk about Indore, this is one thing that is you can talk when you talked about hierarchy, you have got to also see what is this study everything about Indore. What is the economics of Indore? What is the social life of Indore? The type of industries that there are in Indore. Is your average income better than Madhya Pradesh, other places of Madhya Pradesh? Right?
Yes, sir. I think it is.
So all aspects of Indore you must be able to, if any question is asked, you should be able to answer.
Yes, sir.
And a very important thing about Indore is its history.
Yes,
It's a
sir.
glorious history of the Holkars as well as Sindhyas.
Yes,
So
sir.
what is their contribution to Indian history? Indore is also a tourist place. What are the tourist places in Indore? If I was to come to Indore, what are the places that you would advise me to see and why? What more can be done?
Yes, sir.
Now, the same as also for Madhya Pradesh, the next line in your DAF is about your state, that is Madhya Pradesh. Same history, economics, social structure of Madhya Pradesh, tourism of Madhya Pradesh. All these things you should know.
Okay, sir.
Read about everything. You just write down your points:
Yes, sir.
economics, history, society, environment, tourism of Madhya Pradesh. So make your notes on this basis. Questions can be asked on any of these things.
Yes,
The
sir.
very
And it is also Pesa state, so tribal population also.
tribal population is one of the biggest in Madhya Pradesh.
So,
And then you must know about the various programs of the government of Madhya Pradesh, like you talked about the tribals. What are the special programs that are being run
yes, sir.
by the government of Madhya Pradesh?
Yes, sir.
Women, there are special programs. I believe that there's a famous Ladli Behna program or something of that type,
Yes, sir.
which has been Madhya Pradesh has been a pioneer in that.
Yes, sir.
And since you yourself are a woman, questions can be asked about women in general and the policies of the Madhya Pradesh government in relation to the women folk.
Yes, sir.
So when we talk about the Ladli Behna scheme, now obviously women have become very, very powerful as far as electoral politics is now concerned. It has been reflected in Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, and now in Bihar. But does the type of dose that is being given to these women actually lead to their empowerment,
Mm.
or they have just become receivers of doles? What is being given in terms of what is being done in terms of empowering them economically? Giving money to a person, like this is a famous old story, give a person a fish and he will be happy. But if you can teach a person fishing, then he would be able to then in that case take care of himself throughout his life on his own. So is something of that being done for the women of Madhya Pradesh?
Okay.
The tourism of Madhya Pradesh is also again a very powerful thing. So what is the current status of Madhya Pradesh tourism? How does it compare with the states like Rajasthan and Kerala, which have again done a lot as far as tourism is concerned? What is the arrival of domestic tourists and foreign tourists?
Okay, so.
So when we talk of Madhya Pradesh, we also talk about environment, because you have the largest number of national parks, I think so, in the country.
Yes, sir.
So what are those places? What is being done to develop them? And an important question here is about the man-animal conflict.
Yes, sir.
This has become a national theme now. Tigers, elephants, rhinoceroses are coming out of their habitat and are indulging in a fight with the neighboring human beings. I think then some certain issues also took place in Madhya Pradesh also recently. So what should be done? Do we extend the boundaries of the national parks? And is the reduction of the population of animals a possible solution? Buffer zones, things like these.
Yes, sir.
So Madhya Pradesh is also the host to the cheetah mission. So what is the present status of cheetahs? So when you're talking about the economic aspects of Madhya Pradesh, do also read something about the Ken Betwa project.
In Betwa project.
Linkage project.
Yes, sir.
Well, a few months back, it was being opposed by the local people. Why? And what is its current status of implementation? When the project is completed, it is expected that the Panna forest is going to be inundated. What is the plan about the Panna forest? So the next thing in your DAF is that you are a female. Of course, you are a female. So read everything about the position of women in this country. The important issue is the low participation of women in the labor force. Now, there has been recently an improvement in their participation.
Yes, sir.
But there are reports which are saying that the participation of women has increased in agriculture, not in the secondary and tertiary sector.
Yes, sir.
Which is retrograde, which only means empowerment.
Yes, sir.
It means that their husbands are not working, or perhaps are not working enough to look after their families. Participation in agricultural operation is not an improvement. It is a retrograde step. So read about this thing as to what exactly is happening in Madhya Pradesh and all over the country.
So there was also this issue that it is increasing in unpaid work, basically paid family enterprises. So I can cover that also.
Look at that, because outwardly it looks very positive that women have started participating better. So what are the factors which actually prevent women from participating in the labor force? And if you are the collector of a district, how would you ensure that women get proper environment to work. See, there might be cultural reasons in the sense that women are not expected to work, their family traditions and things like these. But there are also practical issues. Traveling
Yes.
to workplace, the harassment at workplace, the demotivation in workplace. And I was telling another candidate this thing that we don't even realize what is the problem that women have to face in offices. You, as
So,
a woman, would be able to understand it and you can then mitigate it. I
yes.
was the CMD of Air India, and it was difficult to believe that even in a place, a modern place like the headquarters of Air India, there were no separate bathrooms for women,
Mm.
where the entire cabin crew, or at least 60 to 70% of the cabin crew, were women. 20
Yes.
to 30% of the pilots were women, and they
Mm.
used to come to the office regularly, and yet there was not a bathroom for them.
Mm.
So these are things which perhaps slip our mind. That how do people work in such a workplace? Or when you will be a collector, you will find that hundreds and thousands of women will be coming to meet you every day. But there would not be a separate bathroom for women in the collectorate. Nobody cares for that. Where do they attend to the call of nature? Your
Yes.
big offices don't have creches. If a woman from the village has to come with a child, how will she spend the entire day waiting for the collector to meet him
Mm.
with the child in arm? So, as a woman, what would you like to do in order to ensure that women get better conditions to work?
Mm.
Security, of course, is there, that you have got to ensure that if anybody goes out of her house, she should be able to return back without being molested. You have also got to see that you have got to identify such elements in your offices, various offices, who are lecherous, who misbehave with women. Mark those guys and keep them under control, under surveillance.
Yes.
And this brings me to another important question, Samiksha. There's the large scale induction of women in the bureaucracy. How does it help the people? One cannot say that women are more efficient than men or men are less efficient than women. That would be too general or very sweeping a statement.
Mm.
What qualities will you as a woman bring to administration which will distinguish you from a man? How can you make the administration more sensitive, more responsive, more humane? Women are supposed to be the harbingers of these qualities. They are supposed to be more gentle. You're supposed to be more humane. You're supposed to be more sensitive. But if you don't bring these qualities to administration, then in that case, what is the benefit of having a woman as a collector or as an IPS officer? I actually asked one of the candidates last year in a mock interview. She was currently an IPS officer.
Mm.
I asked her this question that if you were to handle the Calcutta rape case, how would you have handled it differently from a male SP? And for a second, she was zapped. She did not know how to respond. So I suggested that as a woman, would you not have then in that case gone first to the family of the victim and meet the mother?
Mm.
Type of trauma that the family must be in. If at that time, instead of the police people handling the case as just a crime, had also looked at the human angle of the whole thing, maybe the anger of the family and the anger of the people might have been to a certain extent reduced. That is what a woman can do, right?
Yes.
There are many people actually very women who feel that they have to be very masculine, they have to be very strong, not realizing that their value lies in their being a humane. It is the feminine quality which makes them different from a man. Otherwise, it can be any officer. You may be as efficient as a man, perhaps even more efficient, but if you don't bring new qualities to the job, then how are you different?
Yes.
And there's also a major problem of human trafficking. Women are trafficked in large numbers. And what can you do as a woman officer to ensure that this does not happen? About 3 lakh women every year go missing. And they are obviously put to illegal use. They are all perhaps converted into sex workers or perhaps transported out of India for illegal purposes. If you were the collector of a place or IPS or the SP of a place, how would you handle it? So try to develop your answers around these themes. How do you add value to your job? How can you handle major crises which affect women? How can you improve their working skills? Then the next thing in your DAF is that you are a citizen of India. Why are you a citizen of this country?
So my parents were citizens of this country and I was born here.
If you were to be asked that what is the definition of citizenship, you should know that. So read the Constitution as to what exactly is the citizenship of, who it does consist of. Currently, because of the SIR, this has become a very major issue.
Yes, sir.
You might be born in India, but you need not be the citizen of this country.
Yes, sir. Both the parents should be as of now.
They have to be citizen of this. One of them has to be a citizen of India. And why is he or she a citizen? Again, the same question. How do you become a citizen? And now that the process of census is going to start, this is the question which will become very, very vital. So this is an issue that every administrator must know about. How is citizenship acquired? Who becomes a citizen? Does just ownership of Aadhaar make you a citizen? Or a PAN card make you a citizen? Next in your DAF, you have mentioned that you were born in Rewa.
Yes,
Why is Rewa important, Samiksha?
So it's the place of my roots. My parents also belong
Why
there.
is Rewa otherwise important?
Okay, sir. So it is mainly known for white tigers and lots of good national parks are there. For example, Bandhavgarh is nearby. And also because of its history, because it had one of the important princely estates also of Madhya Pradesh. One of the important princely estates was there.
Precisely. So I think so that because nature is so important for Madhya Pradesh, you should know about what a white tiger is, what is the current population of white tigers in the country, about the various national parks and the tiger reserves in Madhya Pradesh. And I've already talked to you about the man-animal conflict. That's very important.
Yes.
Then
And like Riva solar power plant is also there. It supplies electricity to Delhi.
yes, yes. Then your subject is history. So history is a very wide subject. Anything can be asked, but the most important thing, n number of questions can be asked on history. But one of the major issues is about the rewriting of history. And you can have opinion either way, whether history should be revised from time to time, whether history can be revised from time to time, because historical facts are facts. The interpretation might change. But can you say that this event did not take place? Unless you have come across a new fact which says that this event did not take place, that history is history. Our interpretation of that history might change. But there's a very important issue. I was actually hearing a lecture by a prominent historian, Mrs. Romila Thapar, yesterday on the YouTube, and she was the lady who wrote the first NCERT book on history.
Yes, sir.
And at that time, she herself questioned whether such books should be written or not. Why should the government be involved in the writing of history? If it is involved, then in that case, with every change of government, there will be a change of history. So therefore, the root issue is the involvement of government in the writing of history. If it is left to historians and to our scholars, they'll manage on their own. They'll decide what is right, what is not right, and it is for the people to decide what they want to believe in. But if the government starts writing history, then in that case, that becomes the prescribed history. So if I was interviewing you, I could have asked you this question: should there be NCERT books on history? Should there be an official history? The entire trouble starts from there.
Where government is trying to define what was true or not.
And every government will define it differently.
Yes, sir. Subjectivity of the history based on the political ideologies.
Of the people in power. After all, history has always been written by people who were in power.
Yes, yes.
It was never written by the subaltern classes. So the Mughals wrote it in their own way, the Britishers wrote it in their own way, the Congress people wrote it their own way, the communists wrote it in their own way, and now the BJP is also writing it their own way. And this debate will continue indefinitely, and that child will always be confused. I have been very often asked to give lectures on history. I myself have been a student of history, and I taught history in Allahabad University. And actually, I find myself at a loss what to teach now. Because the history that I had learnt is not being taught now. That is different history. So this is an issue that can be asked.
Yes, sir.
Should government be involved in the writing of history?
There's this issue that Mughal history was removed. So I was thinking of the answer for that, and I thought that history of regional kingdoms is also important, which was ignored in past. However, Mughal history should not be entirely removed because it was a bridge between medieval and modern India.
Absolutely. And they were pan-India.
Yes, sir. That's what. So I can take a middle ground, right?
Yes, absolutely. And that as an administrator and as a candidate for the civil services should be your ground. You should always take the middle ground. There's nothing right on the left, nothing right on the left, on the right.
Yes, sir.
Then the next thing in your DAF is you have written that Hindi was your language.
Yes, sir.
There was some controversy about the imposition of Hindi on some states. Many of the states have opposed the three-language formula. You must have a view on that as to what is the issue.
Yes, sir.
We consider it to be natural because Hindi is our language. We
Yes, sir.
speak Hindi. But somebody can ask you that why is Telugu not your language? Why is Tamil not your language? Again, the answer would be the same. I speak Hindi because I was born in the Hindi land, Hindi area. If I was born in Telugu area, I would have been speaking Urdu. Just like you say that you are born in India, therefore you're an Indian.
Yes, sir.
But, what's so valuable about this thing? Somebody can ask you that why not Marathi? Why not Malayali? So try to find a good answer as to whether the three-language formula is a good solution to our language issue. Why should there be a third language?
So here the central government has taken a stand that three language formula is good. So should my stand align with the central government, or I can take an opposite
You
view?
can say this thing that because we have to have one language in which people can communicate with each other. It's good that you speak your local language. It's good that you speak English also. But since English is not spoken by everyone, then in that case we have to have some via media, some language.
Yes, sir.
Then you come to your father is in the public sector.
Yes, sir.
So do read something about what is the current status of the public sector. The privatization of the public sector, is it good, bad, indifferent, whatever is it? The only successful privatization of the public sector has been Air India.
Yes, sir.
Do read something about what is the current status of Air India. Is it successful or is it not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then your father is in the Pollution Control Board.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so read a lot about pollution, especially about Delhi pollution.
Yes, sir.
I asked you about the AQI of Indore. Do
Yes.
also try to read about this thing. Who decides the AQI?
Hmm.
And can the AQI of Delhi be compared with the AQI of Buenos Aires?
Okay.
Are the two the same?
So why Buenos Aires specifically?
Anyone for that matter.
Mhm.
Because all countries have their own AQIs.
Yes, sir.
So when we say, "अरे Canada में तो 3 था, यहाँ पर तो 400 है," the
Mm.
two are not comparable because their standard of AQI is different from ours. The AQI is prescribed by the CPCB,
Yes.
Central Pollution Control Board. Remove
Yes.
two of the gases and just remove just a couple of things and things will change. So
Yes, sir.
as a daughter of a pollution control board officer, you should know about this thing, that what exactly is the definition of pollution: air pollution, water pollution, noise pollution, right? Then about history, I've already talked to you about. And computer science engineering is important. Will take you the question of AI,
Yes, sir.
and the sky is the limit as far as AI is concerned.
Yes, sir.
So they can ask you anything about AI. Read as much as you can. Recently, the government of India has decided that AI will be taught to the children from the third standard.
Yes, sir.
Is it a good thing or a bad thing? If this happens, then in that case, will natural intelligence be completely replaced by AI, by artificial intelligence? What happens to natural intelligence? If you recall earlier, I don't know whether it was there in your time, in my time at least, calculators were not allowed. Children were supposed to have calculation skills of their own. Today, if anything comes up, I don't try to do any research on I just go to one of these AI tools and ask them what is the position on this, and they will give me an answer within a couple of minutes, and that's it. My natural intelligence over a period of time will vanish.
Yes, sir.
I will stop reading. I will stop thinking. Somebody else will be doing the reading and thinking for me. So when
Yes.
you reduce it from standard 3, then in that case, what will happen to the natural intelligence of children?
Mm.
This is a question that has to be thought of, and you, as a student of computer science, should be able to give a good answer to this. But you can be sure that since your DAF shows computer science engineering, you will be asked something about this.
Yes, sir.
Also, read a lot
I
about
was
NVIDIA.
I was asked last time about AI.
All right. But AI, when you were asked year before last, was not as developed as it is today.
Yes, sir.
Today, AI is the thing.
Yes, sir.
I think everyone is doing AI all over.
Yes, sir.
सब लोग कोई ना कोई tool तो use कर ही रहे हैं. Chat GPT is the most common one. But
Yes.
everyone is using some tool or the other. Year before last, it was a theory. Today, it is practice.
Definitely.
So do read about this thing and read also about NVIDIA and the competition between various countries as far as AI is concerned.
So what did you say? I should also read about media.
NVIDIA,
Mhm.
the manufacturers of the GPU,
Yes, sir.
there are very many people who are saying that the whole AI revolution is being guided by NVIDIA on a commercial basis. And this balloon is going to burst.
Yes, sir. There's also AI bubble going on in USA.
So just read about it because this is something that can be asked of you. Then one of the general questions that can be asked is, how does your experience in the bank, being a probationer officer in the bank, help you in your in administration when you become an IS or an IPS officer? Will it be of any use to you?
So I have put IPS as fifth.
So what is your second choice?
So IFS and then IRS.
Okay, good enough. Good enough. But whatever post you hold, the question can always be asked that how does your present experience going to help you in that?
Okay, sir.
What have you learned, say, in the last, if you have been there for a couple of months, what have you learned in
Mm.
administration which you think is going to be valuable to you? when you become a full-fledged government officer. Then you have talked about your interest is about more of finance. So be very good at various financial issues related to budget,
Yes, sir.
deficit financing, what is the Financial Discipline Act,
Yes, sir.
Financial Responsibility Act.
Yes, sir.
Then you have been seeing documentaries. Can you name of any documentary on finance and economy?
Yes, sir. So I have watched a couple, but recently I have seen this RBI Unlocked. It's an Indian documentary, and there's another Indian documentary called Bharat Fintech Story. I have some international also, but these are significant because they just came this year, and I
Good,
believe it is a very good initiative by government
good.
that they are trying to bring transparency in financial working of the country.
It's financial, both inclusion as well as education is important.
Hmm.
Then the last thing that you mentioned is reflective diary writing.
Yes, sir.
So you write diary as you mentioned every day.
Hmm.
What is reflective? You do samiksha?
Yes, sir. I
Reflective.
do that.
So does it also mean that you're an introvert?
So I can say that I'm an
This is a
ambivert.
very difficult question that I keep on asking all candidates. This has become a very favorite thing that most of the candidates are now writing diary writing.
Yes,
They
sir.
think that once they write diary writing, no question can be asked on this.
No, sir. I actually want them to ask question on this because this is something which I thought that it is a very normal thing. So last time I did not write it. I wrote other things like documentary, and I also added, I like watching nature documentary also. I read books in psychology. So I added all those. I went I went very wide in that hobby. But this time, reflective diary writing is something I've been doing since my childhood. And it is something that has stayed constant with me. So
So it is
that's,
not to avoid questions, it is actually a pastime.
yes, sir.
And how does it help you?
So it helps me resolve my emotions about multiple things. For example, I did not clear last time. That was a very heartbreaking experience, but it helped me deal with it. That's why I was able to get ready for next attempts. And even again, I did not clear means. So these it helps me deal with these failures because not every time in life somebody is going to be available to listen to us. So it helps me deal with my emotions and helps me develop my point of view and opinion also.
It's very interesting, Samiksha. A few days back, one of my colleagues, my former colleagues actually, a lady officer was called to Lucknow University to speak about the psychology of speaking to oneself.
Hmm.
And my off the cuff reaction was I immediately burst out by saying that they are crazy people. Isn't writing a diary also speaking to oneself? It shows some sort of a emotional trauma, something that you're trying to resolve. You're trying to convey something to someone, but since you don't have an external world to talk to, you're talking to yourself.
So I believe that in present times when mental illnesses and crises are rising, it is a very good tool to resolve one's issues, mental issues specifically, but not necessarily it can be used only for that. Because my main intention of
If your
start.
answer is good enough, I got your point.
Yes,
It's a
sir.
very good thing
No,
because it's
so
very good many a time
I
to
was
write something.
saying that I did not want to forget my life because often we go by day and we don't remember what we did. Days pass by. So I think that it is a very good tool to remember your life also, remember good moments in your
Use
life.
the word catharsis. Understand what catharsis is?
So I will research on it.
So
I don't.
catharsis is to give vent to something. And many a time, like crying is a catharsis.
Mm.
It gives you an opportunity to then, in that case, burst out.
Yes, sir.
Instead of keeping it in yourself, you just burst out.
Yes, sir.
And Matlab it is, of course, not a very formal sort of a thing. But if have you seen the film Jab We Met,
Yes, sir.
in which somebody advises someone that you write a letter to that guy and then burn it.
Yes, sir.
That will give you a catharsis, an effect of catharsis that you
Yes, sir.
have to burn it. You have burned that person out of your life.
Yes, sir.
So writing something is a very good thing. It is a catharsis. One
Yes, sir.
need not be defensive about it at all.
Sorry, sir. I just wanted to complete my point. I apologize if I
Nana,
over.
please do.
No, sir. I already did. I actually interrupted you. I realized later
No, no,
that.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think that you are a strong ground when you say that you write a diary to basically express it to yourself, to coherently express it to yourself.
Yes, sir.
But tell me this thing that you write a diary in a hard copy form or it's
Hard,
an electronic diary,
hard copy always.
and you preserve these diaries.
Yes, sir.
And do you know that these diaries can cause a lot of problem in your life later on?
Yes, sir. But I believe in my home there is an environment of privacy. So I
No, but
mean,
life is not going to be the same always, Samiksha. Someday you will have a husband, you will have children who will be reading your diary merrily and enjoying whatever you have gone through or done to yourself.
sir, I'm okay
The
with it.
biggest danger of writing a diary that what do you do with the diary?
Yes, so that is a concern, but I think I'm okay with it. I have made peace with it, and it's not like I have any deep secrets which I want to hide. I'm a very transparent person.
You have never thought of having an electronic diary?
No, so I don't like it.
Yes, all right. You like to write it with your own hand. It
So I
gives you
always keep a collection of diaries so that my one diary gets over, so then I can move on to the next.
on to the next one.
Yes.
Great, wonderful. So these are the questions that I can think of, Samiksha, from your DAF. Is
So
there
one more
anything else
thing
that
is
you,
there.
yeah,
Sorry, sir.
yeah, carry on.
So I actually next Thursday I'm getting married.
Oh wow, good, congratulations.
So, if there's something because DAF I had to submit on 27th, like I've already submitted it. So obviously there's no change in status now. But uh, what can I expect on those lines?
Nothing. People will ask you how will you manage your work-life balance. That's all that they can ask you.
Okay,
If
so
you get selected, will it affect your performance as an officer? Were you able to manage your family at the same time and with the same seriousness?
so can I answer in this way that they don't ask these questions to boys because they also get married?
No, they do. But see, we are living in a cultural environment, in
Yes,
a
sir.
particular framework, where certain things are taken for granted कि वाइफ तो एक्सेप्ट कर ही लेगी.
Yes, sir.
हस्बैंड करेगा कि नहीं करेगा इसके बारे में डाउट होता है
Yes, sir.
कि आपकी बीवी रात को 9 बजे लौट कर आएगी तो हाउ विल यू रिएक्ट.
Yes,
फिर
sir.
तो मान के चलते हैं कि हस्बैंड रात 9 बजे तक लौट कर आएगा तो बीवी मानेगी कि बड़ा हार्ड वर्किंग हस्बैंड है मेरा.
True.
बट ये कोई वाइफ के बारे में नहीं कहता कि मेरी बीवी बहुत हार्ड वर्किंग है. क्योंकि
Yes, sir.
उसने देखा घर में खाना बना कि नहीं बना वो भी देखना जरूरी समझता है वो.
Mm-hmm.
Issues आते हैं and women have actually I've seen lots of women who have managed it very well. बहुत
Mm-hmm.
अच्छे तरीके से उन्होंने मैनेज किया है. They manage their life
Mm-hmm.
and there are so many working women that we have around us and they manage their life very well. These conflicts do happen in those families which are very conservative families.
Yes, sir.
And ये चीज अगर शुरू से clarify कर दी जाए कि this is my job and these are the responsibilities which I have to fulfill.
Mm-hmm.
There's a problem also at many a time that we do not like to have women subordinates. For two reasons. Because it's difficult to communicate with them.
Mm-hmm.
We communicate in a particular way. Our language might not be as sophisticated or perhaps as gentle when talking to ladies. To men as it is we expected to do with ladies. So that is one problem. Second is most of the women like to leave office at 6 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
And that is a major issue.
Mm-hmm.
And as a matter of fact, all the ladies I worked with had
Yes,
that. They wanted to leave at 6:30. While I
yes, sir.
used to work till 9 o'clock, perhaps even at times 10 o'clock.
Yes, so it happens.
So you have to resolve these things. So
Mm-hmm.
the interview board can only ask you this question: how will you manage your?
Mm-hmm.
Does your husband know about your ambitions?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
What does your husband do
he's scale one officer in Bank of India.
in Bank of India? All right, and suppose if you get another cadre where your husband cannot get transferred, will he be able to accept it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good enough. If he is okay with it, then it's absolutely all right. Just don't hide anything from him. He should be in the loop all the time.
Mm. Yes, sir.
And he should be proud that his wife has got into the IAS or any other central
Mm.
service.
In present time, my main concern is that I'm losing a lot of time of preparation next week, and I feel that I've been taking very lightly because the interview schedule has not come, and I'm trying to balance everything because
When is it? What date, Samiksha?
it's on 4th December.
I
But
don't think so. They will start with the interview before 10th. I don't think so.
yes, so some people are saying that they are going to start on 8th, and last time also I got call in the first 10 days only.
Oh, really? Achha.
Yes,
Interesting.
sir. So I don't know. I'm ready. Because we can't do anything if they give early also.
So why is it that you have got to make your plan in such a way that post marriage you do not go out for too long a time?
No, so I have no such plans because anyway I had one more attempt left. So
Mhm.
we had anyway decided that we are not going to think in those anything about honeymoon. I mean, I did when people ask me that, I remember that yeah, this is also something that is done. I have no plan, and I'm presently on loss of pay in Canara Bank also. So we cannot just leave the country.
So
And
if your husband is okay with it, Samiksha, you will have no problems.
yes, so my husband is very
तो उसको
supportive.
एडजस्ट करना ही पड़ेगा एंड कुछ तुमको भी करना पड़ेगा yes of course there are many things that you might have to leave because of being in the service which in any case once you get into service you have to leave.
Yes, sir. So there's one more thing. Actually, when I was jobless I was unemployed in for February. So I was keeping my options open. So I filled forest also, and I cleared the prelims also for that because it's the same exam. But I did not appear for mains because of wedding, and then I got the interview result, and I was also employed. So I took a call at that time that I have more chances of success in civil services than forest. So I skipped that week so that I could study. So how should I manage it? Because I have declared it since they asked the other exams you have applied for.
Okay, that's all right, absolutely no problem. Why should they be worried about what are the examinations you are applying for? That is not the problem that the interview board should be concerned with.
It's just I did not appear for the mains exam. So
No,
I hope it does not give a negative impression.
just say that it was conflicting with my preparation for the IAS, therefore I gave this a priority.
Okay.
Everyone knows that this service will be given priority by a candidate. I'm not saying that this is a better service than any other service, but it will always be given priority by the candidate. It's a very natural thing to happen.
Was mainly about the preparation because since I had no background in history, I still had 2 to 3 years to build it. But forest and agriculture engineering were my optionals because there were no better alternative. And I had no experience in them, and it was very difficult to manage it because I was in the training also for the bank and I had to join. Then lots of things were going on with me.
कोई दिक्कत नहीं होगी. I think so that बस इतना ही है कि that in your interview don't unnecessarily divulge such details which are not asked for.
Yes, sir.
Like all this that you are telling me, you need not talk about all this thing to the interview board at all.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
By that time, if you are married, then in that case, this will be a part of your life. In any case, you will tell that in the meantime I got married.
Yes,
And the
sir.
only question that they can ask you is that will you be able to manage both?
Yes, sir.
And you can say that I am absolutely confident I'll be able to do it. Then they will ask no further question.
And so, based on my experience, they mainly talk about policy making because I prepared lots of things last time. And they just asked me why I left bank because at that time I had worked for 2 months and then I left it. So that was very prominent.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from that, most of it was related to policy making.
Okay. That is what generally people will always be asking about.
Yes, sir.
IS officer is supposed to, or perhaps an IPS officer, or whatever level of officer you are always supposed to deal with higher things. All smaller things will not be generally discussed. I am
Mm.
asking all these questions of you because I am going to the DAF. So
Yes,
what
sir.
type of questions can arise? That is the basic concern.
Definitely, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right, Samiksha? So I'm sure that you will do very well and don't be worried at all. You will
Yes, sir.
do very well both as in life as well as in your career.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time.